What we did in last class? Smita was there, I think, if I'm not wrong. Smita was there in last class. And who are the people in last class? Shakulla was in last class. Shakulla was in last class. If I am not wrong, we did like general characteristic of Monera, and we did bacterial structure, and that's it.
Sir, we were in Monera in the third part,
Not
I
audible
think.
to
In the
me.
third.
Is there somebody speaking?
Sir, Shakirullah is speaking.
Yeah, Shakulla. What we did in last class?
Sir, we was in Monera, and we was, I think, in the second part. Yeah, second.
Yeah, structure of bacteria. We did in structure of bacteria, right?
Yes, we was in Monera, and there was
Yeah.
five or three types of Monera. Yeah.
Right. Great,
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much. So let me start it. So before starting, I want to brief something to those people who have joined us today. Let me check it. So
New students join, sir.
Jana, is it your first class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Fine. And Samira, was you there in last class or it's first class?
No, so I was there in last class.
Okay, you was there in last class. Fine. So Hishma, is it your first class?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So there are two people who have their first class. The rest of the people were there in last class. Okay, fine. So for both of you, I want to tell you what we are doing and what we did. So before starting today's session, I would like to introduce you. Like today, we are going to start from Monera onward, and Aspare was there, I think. So today we are going to start from Monera onward. So what we did in last class, we did general characteristic of Monera, general characteristic, and along with general characteristic in the classification of Monera, what we did. So there are four kind of the organism which comes under Monera. So first was there, that was Eubacteria. So Eubacterium is the general bacteria what we study. The second one is, that is BJ. We'll do it today. Blue-green algae. Blue-green algae. And the third one is, that is Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma. It is all there in NCERT. When did we end with the first chapter? When did we end with the first chapter? Like in first class, today that is the third class. So in first class we started, and in the first class I told you that the general characteristic of living is that, and in the last class I started from binomial nomenclature. So in last class we did binomial nomenclature. I told you what are the zoological park, botanical garden, and key. And then we started with general characteristic of Monera. Then we did characteristic of bacteria. So was you there in last class in demo class? Fine. Actually your name is not reflecting to me in this one here. So it's the name. Can you tell me your name? Not in second class. Okay. Okay, Maz. So Maz, you can get, I think you can get video backup from Niskarji. So you have to contact with the Niskarji. He'll give you, I think, a video link. If he have backup, most probably he would have backup. So he will give you a link for that video and go through the last class, like go through the first class. So then you will come to know the general characteristic. I have taught general characteristic of living being over there. and after that I have taught binomial nomenclature. So we'll get all these things in that my first class. So you'll get the link, and from that link or from that video backup, you can make notes as well. Fine? Is it clear? And still, if there is any problem, you can share with me. Fine? Okay. And the same with the rest of the people, like who have missed last 2 classes. So what they have to do, they have to contact with Niskarji. He is our program coordinator. So I think he might be coordinating with you. So contact to our team. They will guide you, and definitely they will give you video backup, and you can go through these videos. And still, if you are facing problem anywhere, I am always there for you. So still, if you are facing any problem, if you have any query, if you have any doubt in whole concept, so we'll take care of that, right? Fine. So any more question? Should we start with it? Blue green algae. So before starting blue green algae, I want to know with Aishwarya and Samaira and Zaina. So are you aware with the general characteristic of Monera and characteristic of eubacteria? Had you gone through with this topic in your school or by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So let me start with the blue green algae, Mycoplasma. And there is one thing more, which is additional. What I will tell you, that is Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. So I'll tell you one more thing, that is Archaebacteria. Oh, okay, sure. So you are not aware with this the Monera and eubacteria and all that. Fine. Okay. So let me brief all of you what are the bacteria, eubacteria. I'll brief you, and after this class, you have to take video link from Niskarji, and then go through with that video. You'll get the backup of whole class, and then go through with it, make note with the help of class. And still, if you are facing any problem, if you have any query, note it down right now and then ask me tomorrow. Fine. So let me brief, before starting with Monera, let me brief eubacteria and general characteristic of Monera. Fine. So previously, in the last class, I have told you that we have divided organism in 5 classes. So in 5 kingdom classification system, I have already briefed you people that we have divided all organism in 5 kingdom. The first kingdom and foremost kingdom is that is Monera. And then the second kingdom is Protista. Third kingdom is fungi. And fourth kingdom is Plantae. And last but not the least, that is the fifth kingdom, Animalia. So this is 5 kingdom classification system. And 5 kingdom classification system was given by a scientist in 1969, R.H. Whitaker. This is for those people who are not there in R.H. Whitaker. So R.H. Whitaker given this 5 kingdom classification system. He divided all organisms present on the earth in only 5 groups. So that is called 5 kingdom, right? So these kingdom are Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. We are starting with Monera. So Monera is the kingdom where we have kept all those organisms which are made up of prokaryotic cell. So their body is made up of prokaryotic. And the second important thing is that these are always unicellular. So all those unicellular organisms which are made up of prokaryotic cell have been kept in Monera. So further we have divided Monera into 4 parts: eubacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma, or archaebacteria. So these are the representative member of Monera. Let me tell you archaebacteria in brief. Let me show you a diagram which I have already shared with you, and those people like who were already there in last class. So it is just a revision for them. So there is a diagram of eukaryotic cell. So sorry, prokaryotic cell. So this is diagram of a bacteria. So bacteria means the first one, that is we call eubacteria. So what is eubacteria? The eu word, it's a Latin word. So eu means you refer to new. So eubacteria means new bacteria. Bacteria means bacteria. Obviously in English as well, bacteria means bacteria. So new bacteria. So all those bacteria which you see today's life, they are eubacteria. For example, that if somebody got a disease cholera, so the bacteria which is causing disease cholera, that is Vibrio cholerae. It's a type of eubacteria. Means it's a modern bacteria. It's a new bacteria. In the same time, like everybody use curd. So in curd, you all are biology students. So you know the curd is made up, like curd is made by a type of bacteria, and the name of bacteria is lactobacillus. So the bacteria which makes curd, lactobacillus. Lactobacillus. So lacto means all those bacteria which work on lactose sugar, and bacillus means
Bacteria.
No. Bacillus is a type of shape. Bacillus means spherical bacteria. So those spherical bacteria means sphere shape. So those bacteria which are of sphere shape and they work on that lactose sugar, they are called lactobacillus bacteria. So actually lactobacillus bacteria are those bacteria which are responsible for making curd. So these are responsible for making curd. So they are the bacteria, they make curd. You all know these bacteria, curd. So it's a new bacteria. So I have told you in last class, in previous class, that this is a structure of eubacteria. So first come with the cell wall. So cell wall, we all know that the cell wall is found in plant, but at the same time cell wall is also found in bacteria. But in plant, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. We will discuss in Plantae kingdom. So I'm just telling you for sake of reference. So the cell wall is made up of cellulose, but here in bacteria, cell wall is not made up of cellulose. It is made up of a different kind of the substance that is called peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. Then outside of this cell wall, means before the cell wall, there is an extra covering, that is capsule. This extra covering capsule, it protects bacteria from unfavorable condition like high temperature and scarcity of water. Capsule is made up of a chemical, and the name of that chemical is glycocalyx. So if those students who are new one, so they can jot it down. All those who are older one, so they have already gone through with it. So they are just revising it. And the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. I am writing it, trying to write it more clearly so that you can note it down. In case if you are feeling problem that you are unable to get it, so you can ask me to spell. I'll spell for you. So this is the plasma. Now the first covering is capsule. Second covering is cell wall, and the third covering is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is universal everywhere. Every cell, irrespective it's eukaryotic cell or prokaryotic cell, every cell across the world will always have plasma membrane. You won't found any kind of the cell or any cell across the earth, any living cell across the earth who do not have plasma membrane or protoplasm. Means there are two basic things which every cell will possess. The first one is plasma membrane and the second one is protoplasm. Next, this plasma membrane is found in everywhere in the cell, and the composition of plasma membrane is also fixed. It is made up of lipid and plus protein. In detail, we will discuss in 9th chapter, that is cell biology. Next, there is a folding of plasma membrane. This is green color structure. This is folding of plasma membrane. We call it mesosome. Mesosome is responsible for energy generation. So they generate energy. So we can compare them with mitochondria, but mitochondria are not found in prokaryotic cell. Hence, they function like mitochondria. There is one more important thing, that is the ribosome. Ribosome are common in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, right? So ribosome are responsible for protein synthesis. They are responsible for protein synthesis. Next, there is one more important thing, that there is a chromosomal DNA. Means this is just a DNA which do not have any kind of the protein. Like our DNA is made up of, like it is nucleic acid. Our DNA is associated with protein, and the name of that protein histone protein. Such kind of protein are not found in prokaryotic cell. So in prokaryotic cell, DNA is naked. And one more peculiarity of DNA, which is found over here, DNA is circular over here. Circular. One last thing, bacteria have flagella. So number of the flagella can be 1 to 4 in any bacterial cell. And flagella are responsible for locomotion. They help bacteria to locomote or to move from one point to another point in water, or if they are a parasite, they are in our blood. Even bacteria, they help bacteria to like move from a point to another point with the help of flagella. So flagella are made up of their thread-like structure, their hair-like structure, and they are made up of a protein, and we call that protein flagellin. This question have been asked in NEET examination. Flagellin. So flagellin is protein which makes flagella. One more important thing, these hair-like structure, a small hair-like structure. So these long structure are flagella, and their hair-like small structure, they are called membranae. So they help bacteria to anchor in any surface. So that is all about prokaryotic cell or eubacteria. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Especially for new student. Yeah, please. Yes, sir.
number 1, number 2, you told that capsule and cell wall, yeah?
Yeah. They are the covering. The outermost covering is number 1, capsule. Then inner covering, that is cell wall. And after that is third covering is plasma membrane, right?
You give them a name. I can't see the name properly.
Oh, you can't see the name properly. Okay, just a minute.
No.
Huh.
That yes, yeah.
This one, it's looking very small for you. Should I enlarge it?
No, I can see. I can zoom it, no problem. But
Okay.
in their side, you wrote peptide.
Okay. This one. Let me write it more clearly.
Yes. What are they, sir? What are they responsible for?
Actually, they are the chemical composition. It is chemical composition of these things, right? Plasma membrane is made up of 2 things: lipid, means fat, and plus protein, right?
Lipid means fat, yeah.
Fat, right? So you know what is fat? Fat is like oil is fat, but when oil become greasy, it's like butter. So you call it lipid. They're same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Mesosome.
What about for cell wall and capsule?
Yeah, mesosome. All right. Mesosomes, they are responsible for energy production. And ribosome, they are responsible for protein synthesis, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Any more question? New student?
No, sir.
Okay. Zaina, Samira?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. All right. So you all got what are the eubacteria. So now I can move in next topic, that is blue-green algae. Still, if anybody of you have question, please ask. Feel free. Don't hesitate. If you have any question, ask me. Okay, fine. So take the link of video, go through with the last class. Still, if you have problem, I am available you for solving your problem and queries tomorrow as well, right? So, yeah, please.
Yeah, can you just tell me what is it anchor take down?
What are they, Ashwara?
Anchor.
I'm not getting you. Can you SMS me? Actually, you're not audible to me properly. Please message me. I'll reply. Okay, anchor. Anchor means, you know, like it's hold like this one. So suppose that this is intestine. So in our intestine, look, let me explain you more clearly. So this is human intestine. So this is transport section of our intestine. So there are a special kind of the bacteria. They help in digestion. So the name of those bacteria are E. coli. E. coli. So what they do, they have small this membranous structure. So with the help of this membranous structure, what they do, they hook. Anchor means they hook, like ship anchor. So with the help of this hook, they put this hook in our intestine wall and anchor us. Means it helps them to stick over there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more question? No. Fine. So let me start with take a screenshot of this one and draw it at your notebook. Right? Okay. So now we'll start with the second topic, that is blue-green algae. Okay. So what are the blue-green algae? So I've explained you that. So Monera, general characteristic, done. Eubacteria, I have told you a second before. Now we are starting with blue-green algae. Second topic. So the full form of BGA, that is blue-green algae. It's there in your NCERT. Always keep NCERT with you. Blue-green algae. Their name is blue-green algae, but actually they are not algae. Algae are a type of plant. Previously, scientists used to think that they are a type of plant, but when the electron microscope was discovered, then they came to know, no, they are not plant. They are a type of bacteria. They are a type of prokaryotic cell. So they have name. Their name is blue-green algae. So their name had not been changed. Their name is blue-green algae, but they are not algae. They are a type of bacteria. And after, when we came to know that they are a type of bacteria, we call them cyanobacteria. So their second name is cyanobacteria. So blue-green algae and cyanobacteria both are the same thing. Blue-green algae and cyanobacteria, they are same thing, and they are a type of bacteria. So they have same structure like the rest of the cells. So they are a type of bacteria. Now, what is the peculiarity of these bacteria? Let me explain you. Then I will dictate you, and you will jot it down. So, example of these blue-green algae. There is a one blue-green algae, and the name of blue-green algae is Nostoc. Do you know this Nostoc? Have you listened it? Nostoc.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. What's Nostoc, sir?
Anabina. Blue-green algae. Nostoc, Anabina. Okay. Nostoc and Anabina both are example of blue-green algae. They are name of two cyanobacteria. Nostoc is a bacteria which is found in rice field, means paddy field. Anabina is also a bacteria which is found in rice field. What is the function of these both bacteria? They are responsible for nitrogen fixation process. They are responsible for nitrogen fixation. What is that? Look, nitrogen is not found on the soil, but nitrogen is the most required element for plant. So what plant required? They required nitrogen in great amount. So this is the least available element on the earth, but this is the element which is required by plant in maximum quantity out of all minerals. So nitrogen is required in greater quantity. So how do they get nitrogen? Nitrogen is found in atmosphere. So availability of nitrogen is like this is 78%. You all know that this is Earth's surface. In Earth's surface, nitrogen is least available element. So where it is abundant, this is atmosphere. In air, the percentage of nitrogen you all know that is 78%. But this nitrogen is not found on the soil. So what is that which bring down this atmospheric nitrogen to soil? So there are certain bacteria, and the name of these bacteria is blue-green algae. So what blue-green algae do? They take atmospheric nitrogen and they mix this atmospheric nitrogen into soil, and we call this process nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation, right? So the plant require nitrogen greater amount. Like this is the most like needed element for the plant growth. So nitrogen is provided to plant by blue-green algae with the help of nitrogen fixation process. Is it clear to everyone? What is their role?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you say again?
Yes. Nitrogen is found in air. It is inert gas, right? Nitrogen is found in air. It is a inert gas, means it do not react with anything. And nitrogen is required by plant in greater amount. So plant requires three element in greatest amount, that is NPK. So NPK are the three element which are the major element or macro element. Without these three element, plant cannot grow. So what are these NPK? N stand for nitrogen, P stand for phosphate, means phosphorus, and K stand for potassium.
Potassium.
Even out of all these macro element, nitrogen is required in greatest amount. But unfortunately, nitrogen is not found in soil naturally. So how does these plant get nitrogen? There are some mediator. They are blue-green algae, these cyanobacteria. What these blue-green algae do, they take nitrogen from atmosphere and mix it in soil. And that nitrogen is taken by plant. And we call this complete process nitrogen fixation. Is it clear? Fine.
Yes, yes, sir.
I will dictate it to you later on. So, but before jotting it down, try to understand. Don't cram biology. Try to understand biology. Try to assimilate inside your brain, and then just jot it down. Right? You have to understand each and everything. Okay. So, what is the structure of any blue-green algae, or we can say what is the structure of nostoc? Let me tell you. Nostoc is bacteria. If I have diagram, let me show you nostoc. Yeah, I have that. This is nostoc. This diagram is also there in your NCERT book. Okay. So this is nostoc, and nostoc is a type of blue-green algae. Nostoc, and it's a type of BGA, right? So nostoc. So there are number of the nostoc cell. We cannot say is multicellular. Why? Can we say it multicellular? Never. Why? Because prokaryotic cell can never be multicellular, or we can say Monera can never be multicellular. So what we will call, if number of cell collect at a particular point, we call them colony. So what is that? This is nostoc colony. Okay. So there are number of the nostoc cell. They are collected in a chain. They are collected in a chain-like structure, and they are enclosed with a mucilage. What is mucilage? Mucilaginous sheath. Sheath means covering. Mucilaginous, it's a gel-like substance. It's gel-like substance. Gel-like substance, and made up of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate means sugar. Made up of carbohydrate. Okay. Then they are the common blue-green algae cell. So these chain have some special kind of the cell, and these special kind of the cells are called heterocyst. Not, please mind it, I repeat it, not all cell of nostoc are able to fix nitrogen. Only heterocyst cell are responsible for fixing nitrogen. So what is the peculiarity of these heterocysts, or we can say what is the special in these nostoc cell? So these heterocyst cell, they are impermeable to oxygen. Oxygen cannot go inside them, but they are permeable to nitrogen. Nitrogen can go inside them, right? And they are responsible for nitrogen fixation. And this is normally Nostoc. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So please take a screenshot of this one. And now, yeah, please. Clear? Okay. So take a screenshot of this one and write it down, the characteristic of blue-green algae. Okay. Note it down. Blue-green algae are also known as cyanobacteria. Blue-green algae are also known as cyanobacteria. Full stop. They are also a type of bacteria. They are also a type of bacteria, and they are not plant. They are not algae. They are not algae. Full stop. Algae are, they are not algae. Full stop. Algae are a type of plant, and algae are a type of plant, and they are made up of, algae are a type of plant, and they are made up of eukaryotic cell, and they are made up of eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. Full stop. Nostoc is a filamentous bacteria. Nostoc is a filamentous. Nostoc is a filamentous bacteria which is made up of chain, or colony of cells, which is made up of chain or colony of cells, which is made up of chain or colony of cells. Full stop. Next point. They have a special type of cell. They have a special type of cell which are known as heterocyst, Full stop. Heterocysts are impermeable. Heterocysts are impermeable to oxygen, but they are permeable to nitrogen. Full stop. Next point. These heterocysts are responsible for nitrogen fixation. These heterocysts are responsible for nitrogen fixation. Clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
cyanobacteria. Okay. Any doubt in cyanobacteria? No.
No, sir.
Okay. One more important thing. So
Sir,
these are, Yeah, please.
What this called? What's bacteria called? Phylobacteria?
Cyanobacteria are also called blue-green algae,
Okay.
BGA, right? So one more important thing, which is a question have already been asked in medical examination, and there is one more exam, AIMS. This question is old question of AIMS, and then many time asked in this one, your NEET examination, right? So they have asked, I have seen this many times, this question. So what is this question? So there are some blue-green algae which are photosensitive. Man means they have capability to perform photosynthesis. So for photosynthesis, they have a special kind of structure, and we call these structure chromatophores. Chromatophores. So write it down. There are some BGA. There are some BGA. There are some BGA which perform photosynthesis, and for this purpose they have a special structure called chromatophores. They have a special structure called chromatophores. Full stop. These chromatophore contain chlorophyll, right? So chlorophyll is responsible for photosynthesis. So what is the structure of chromatophore? How does they look like? They look like this one. These structure are called chromatophore. If you want, you can draw it. Rather than you must draw it. These structure are called chromatophore. So photosynthetic blue-green algae have this structure, and they are called chromatophore. And chromatophore are the structure which contain a chemical called chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is responsible for photosynthesis. I think now it's crystal clear to all of you. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more thing. Now, next one, that is mycoplasma. So take the screenshot of this one, then I'll remove it. Fine. So the next is, that is so BGA is done. So we did BGA. Then now it comes mycoplasma. Many times medical you will get question. Definitely you will get frequently you get question from this mycoplasma topic. It's also very important topic for NEET examination, and BGA is important for your school examination as well. So the C is, that is mycoplasma. Mycoplasma. So mycoplasma, they have another name as well. The same like cyanobacteria, mycoplasma. It is also called, mycoplasma is also called PPLO. PPLO. What is PPLO? PPLO, the full form of this acronym is Pleuropneumonia like organism. Actually, we call them pleuropneumonia like organism. They are responsible for spreading pneumonia in animals. So they cause pneumonia in animals. You know, pneumonia is a disease. Pneumonia in animals. So that's why they are called PPLO, or they are mycoplasma. one more interesting thing. Mycoplasma, so they have two names, Mycoplasma and PPLO. Mycoplasma and PPLO, they are also called joker of plant kingdom. So first question is that they are called joker of plant kingdom. Why? They can change their shape, they can change their form, they can change their color. So that's why they are called what? Joker of plant kingdom. Okay. So one more important. Note it down. They can change their shape and color. Hence, they are called pleomorphic. Pleomorphic. Pleo means various, and morphic means shape. It's Latin. Means they have various shape. So what does it mean by pleomorphic? Pleomorphic means they have various form, there's various morphological shape. Clear? So Mycoplasma, they are called joker of plant kingdom. They are pleomorphic and they are also known as PPLO. One more important. That is also a question of NEET examination. The size of Mycoplasma vary. The size of Mycoplasma vary from 0.1 micrometer to 0.15 micrometer. The size of Mycoplasma varies from 0.1 to 0.15 micrometer. And they are the smallest free living organism of world. They are the smallest free living organism of the world. This was the question actually. Now I have told you a number of the things about the Mycoplasma. Let me show you the diagram of Mycoplasma, right? Let me check it. Okay. Mycoplasma. Yes, it's there with me. So this is Mycoplasma. Okay. So this is diagram of Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, let me explain you each and everything. Look, either it's bacteria or it's blue-green algae or it's any bacteria. Bacteria always have cell wall. Capsule, bacteria may or may not have capsule. That is not necessary for each and every bacteria, but every bacteria have cell wall. But they are the only bacteria which do not have cell wall. Note karenge. Note it down, please. Next point. They are the only bacteria. They are the only bacteria which do not have cell wall around them. They are the only bacteria which do not have cell wall around them. Next. So what is the outer layer? So outer layer is lipoprotein membrane. I have told you lipid and protein. Lipoprotein means lipid plus protein membrane. What is that? This is simply plasma membrane. So this is plasma membrane. So their outer covering is plasma membrane. They do not have any cell wall or they do not have any capsule. Plasma membrane. And plasma membrane is made up of lipid plus protein means lipoprotein. Okay. So outer layer is plasma membrane. Second, like other bacteria or like other cell, they also have protoplasm. So this is the ground substance that is called protoplasm. And protoplasm, you know, this is gel-like structure, gel-like substance. This is gel-like substance. And then it comes that they have a small structure, these RNA, and they have DNA. And how this DNA is different from the rest of the DNA. Their DNA is different from the rest of the bacterial DNA. Their DNA is not circular. So how does it look like? So their DNA look like this. DNA have its disc-like structure, and then it's thread-like.
Sir,
Okay.
this mycoplasma, they have very big ribosome.
Yeah, they have ribosome, and their ribosome is like the same thing. That the ribosome is like bacteria. Their
Yes,
size
sir,
is
I
20.
understand, but for them, ribosome is very big, yeah?
Yeah.
It's
For
huge.
bacteria, ribosome is very big structure because bacteria itself is
For
small.
all the bacteria or for only this mycoplasma?
No, for mycoplasma only. For the rest of the bacteria, there are some bacteria which are larger than our cell or body cell. So for them, for them, ribosome is a smaller component. Fine. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because mycoplasma have a small structure. That's why comparatively ribosomes are bigger in them. So if we compare with them as cell, so mycoplasma looks like bigger. So, but there are some cells which have 500 micrometer in size. So they are very larger cells. For them, ribosomes are a smaller organelle, right? Their DNA, so like in bacteria, in eubacteria, in blue green algae, in both, the DNA is single and circular. They have one DNA and circular DNA. But here you will see they do not have circular DNA. Their DNA is different. So this structure is called replication disc. Replication disc. What is that? From here, DNA start divide 1 to 2. And this is DNA. This is DNA. So their DNA is not circular, this is straight, right? It is straight and it have replication disc. So note it down. In mycoplasma,
Sir, wait. 1 minute.
yeah, you can draw it.
Okay, sir, start.
Okay. In mycoplasma, DNA is not circular. In mycoplasma, DNA is not circular like rest of bacteria, but it is straight. Next point. They also have 70S. They also have 70S ribosome like other bacteria. They also have 70S ribosome like other bacteria. Next point. Their DNA have replication disc from where their DNA have replication disc from where DNA replication from where DNA replication starts. Next, majority of mycoplasma, one last question. Majority of mycoplasma, it is also a medical question. Majority of mycoplasma are parasite in animal. Most of them are parasite.
So what's the
Majority
meaning of parasite?
right? Sorry.
What's the meaning of parasite?
Parasite means those the living which live on another living. For sake of example, mosquito. So mosquito, they suck our blood. So they are parasite. They lives on our body, right? They are dependent on our body for food. So they are parasite. When a living take nutrition from another living, these kind of livings are called parasite, like mosquito. Clear? Okay. So most of them are parasite, lives in animal and plant body. Lives in animal and plant body. Some of them are saprophyte. Some of them are saprophyte. What is saprophyte? Samira? Saprophyte. Smita. Zana.
Sir, it depends of protoplasma.
No. Aishwarya. Oh, somebody. Feed on dead and decay. Very good. Excellent. Right. Right. Great.
What, sir?
They feed on dead and decaying. Mice.
Okay.
Great mice. Great. So they take nutrition from dead and decaying, dead and decaying. They take nutrition from dead and decaying matter. Dead and decaying matter. They take nutrition from dead and decaying matter. Right, Aishwarya, right. They're taking, right. So they are either they are parasite or they are cell. So this was all about the mycoplasma. So is it clear to you, mycoplasma? Clear to all of you? You got
Yes,
it? What are mycoplasma?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great.
For
Last
me,
but
yes.
not last but not the least, that is, I have to tell you extra one more thing. That is archaebacteria. Oh, it's there in your NCERT as well, but in short. Even mycoplasma is there in your NCERT, but it has been written in very short manner, in short form, 2 lines. So let me tell you one last thing, that is archaebacteria. So archaebacteria are also a type of very simple kind of the cell. In your first class, I told you in 5 kingdom classification that there was one more person, and the name of that person was the name of that person was what? Carl Woese. So what Carl Woese said? Carl Woese said that there should be 6 kingdom, and the 6th kingdom is for archaebacteria. So, but we all know. I'm trying to show you what are the archaebacteria. They are just simple bacteria. They look like other bacteria, but they are very ancient bacteria. So archaebacteria, as most probably scientists think that archaebacteria is the first cell of the earth. So they are the first cell of the earth. Archaebacteria. Okay. Look. Give me just a second. Archaebacteria. So this is the structure of archaebacteria. They look like this one. They are the archaebacteria. Simple bacteria like looking cells. So what is peculiarity with archaebacteria? You know, archaebacteria can be found anywhere, right? Archaebacteria can found all those places, even in those places where life is not possible. They are found in extreme environmental conditions. Like extreme environmental conditions means they are found in mouth of volcano, where life is not possible. They are found in salt lake, Dead Sea, like Dead Sea. They are found in Dead Sea, where nothing is nothing is can survive. They are found in
Sir.
right. Yes.
How they can get nutrient if they can live on
Actually,
non
their cell wall is very resistant and different from other, and it is made up of a special kind of the protein which is not found in plant or animals or in bacteria. So that is the reason they
only
are
this
found
type of bacteria, yeah?
Yeah, this kind of bacteria, these archaebacteria. They are archaebacteria, right? So they are found in methane gas. You know, methane gas is poisonous. They are found in salt lake where life is not possible. In Dead Sea, they are found in mouth of volcano. So these kind of extreme condition where they are found, right? So, and one more important thing, archaebacteria are, we can say, the oldest cell, or they are the oldest organism on the earth. That's why we also call them living fossils. We call them living fossils. So note it down. Archaebacteria. So this is archae. Archae means very old, ancient, and bacteria means bacteria. You must have listened Archaeological Survey of India, or archaeology means. So archeo means archeo. It's a Latin term. Archeo means very old, ancient. So archaebacteria are the most primitive and most probably first cell. Archaebacteria are most probably most primitive or first cell on earth. Next point. They are first cell on earth. They are found in extreme environmental conditions. They are found in extreme environmental conditions. Full stop. They are also called living fossils. They are also called living fossils. So why they are called living fossils? You know, they are the first cell of the earth, and after these cells, everything whatever have came on the earth got dead and become fossil, but still they are surviving on the earth. That's why we call them living fossils. Okay, so they are also called living fossils. Next point. They can survive in extreme condition. They survive in extreme conditions because their cell wall. They can survive in extreme conditions because their cell wall is not made up of peptidoglycan, because their cell wall is not made up of peptidoglycan like rest of bacteria. But it is made up of a substance called pseudomurine. It is made up of a substance called pseudomurine. So you have to note it down. Even this question I have been asking yeah, sure. They can survive in extreme conditions because their cell wall is not made up of peptidoglycan, because their cell wall is not made up of peptidoglycan like rest of bacteria, but it is made up of a special type of chemical called pseudomurine. Next one. Archaebacteria can be divided, archaebacteria can be divided into 3 categories. Archaebacteria can be divided in 3 categories. First, methanogen. Those which are found in presence of, they are found in methane gas. Right? They are found in methane gas. And they are also found in marsh, like mud. They are also found in marsh and biogas plant, and they are also found in the stomach of cattle. So methanogen are those bacteria which are found in presence of methane gas. Next, second category is halophiles. So halo means salt. In Latin, halo means salt. So they are found in salt lake. They are found in salt lake or high concentration or high salt concentration of water. Example, they are found in Dead Sea. What is Dead Sea? Can somebody tell me what is Dead Sea and where is it is? You must be aware with this. Dead Sea.
Sir, it's near to Red Sea.
Near to
Red Sea.
Dead
Red Sea.
Red Sea. Okay. Jordan, very good, very good. So, who's that?
Sir, is it near to Red Sea?
It's yeah, it's a bit near to Red Sea.
Yeah.
Okay. I have
It's in Jordan, huh? Urdun.
float. Yeah. Somebody like okay. You had been there. Okay, fine. So very good. So it's a Dead Sea. It's a sea. It makes coastal area of Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, and Syria. And you know, this is the only sea where you cannot sink. So suppose that if you jump over there, you will float. Nobody can commit suicide in Dead Sea. So because you will keep on floating. The reason behind it, density of water is very high. So we call it Dead Sea because no animal or no plant is found in this water body. So there are only archaebacteria are the only bacteria, or we can say organism, which are found in Dead Sea. And there is one more peculiarity of Dead Sea, that this is the only sea where waves are not formed like other seas, and it's a landlocked sea, and you know, like navigation or shipping is not possible in this sea because of high salt concentration. That is peculiarity of Dead Sea. So we call it Dead Sea because life is not there. It do not have. This is the only water body which do not have any kind of plant or any kind of animal. But archaebacteria, they're found there. One more. Thermoacidophiles. That is thermoacidophiles. So thermoacidophiles, actually they are found in very high temperature. They are found in very high temperature. They are found in thermo-oceanic vent. So thermo-oceanic vent are that part. They are. This is the mouth of volcano inside ocean. They are found in thermo-oceanic vent. So thermo-oceanic vent, They are mouth of volcano inside the oceans. Volcano are not found only on land; they are found, or they are also found in oceans. So they are thermosonic vent. They are a type of volcano mouth inside oceans. So they can bear very high temperature. So there are three type of archaebacteria in world: methanogens, halophiles, and thermostat. Is it clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This was all about the Monera. So if you have any doubt, any query, any question regarding Monera, please ask. All clear? So, Mehreen, so did you join right now? Few minutes before? Or you're from since starting? Mehreen, am I audible to you? You're not audible to you. Your voice is not clear actually. You can message me. So, Hishma. Hishma, is it clear to you? Samaira? Okay. Clear. And for rest of the people? Smita, clear? Marine, Ashwarya, Chakulla, all clear?
Sir, clear. Yes, clear.
Great.
Yes.
Sir, there in Kingdom Monera, it's only classified in two types of kingdoms. Yeah.
No, NCERT, Monera, you will find Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and Mycoplasma as well. All are there. And NCERT is there, but it's there in very brief manner. Like, very brief points are out there, so they haven't explained it clearly. So we have
Okay.
covered all the topic from like the view of from the angle of this one NCERT, as well as for a need purpose as well. Right. So let me start with Protista. Should we start Protista? Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's start with Protista. So the next kingdom, our next kingdom is Protista. So put the heading Protista in separate page. New chapter. So Protista. So while going through with like in our last class, we discussed that there are 5 kingdoms, and out of them, the Protista is made up of, it is made up of unicellular. It is made up of unicellular and eukaryotic cells. So Protista are those organisms which are made up of unicellular eukaryotic cells, right? So in Protista, so it's made up of unicellular eukaryotic cell. Okay. So Protista, we can say this is called a mixed kingdom. Why? Mixed kingdom. So why we call it mixed kingdom? Let me explain. Protista is called mixed kingdom because we have taken out unicellular plant cell from plantae. So what we did when we made Protista, we taken out unicellular plant cell from plantae. We taken out unicellular animal cell. We taken out unicellular animal cell from Animalia. We've taken out unicellular fungi cell from fungi itself. So from all these 3 kingdoms, we have taken out unicellular organism and we kept them in a single group, and that is called Protista. That's why Protista is called mixed kingdom. Clear? Why it is called mixed kingdom? Okay. So now, how we divided Protista? It's not difficult, but it's a bit confusing as per your NCERT. So keep NCERT aside, like keep it with yourself, but first listen to me what I am saying. Okay. So I mean, I am making you it more clear for you, more lucid for you, and more interesting for you, and more easy for you. So let's take my concept, what I am telling you. Fine. So how we have divided Protista systematically. So on the basis of nutrition, we have divided Protista in 3 categories. Okay. So on the basis of nutrition, we have divided Protista in 3 categories. So first category, we can say types of Protista, hai na? Types of Protista. Listen to me carefully, then and then jot it down. First, listen to me carefully. You need to focus more and more on Protista because Monera was easy, but Protista is a bit tricky. Not difficult, bit tricky. Okay.
I think there is 5 types of.
Yeah. That's why I'm telling you in this way. So we have divided Protista in 3 categories. First, all those Protista which are photosynthetic. So first, photosynthetic Protista. So those Protista which are able to perform photosynthesis and they can make their own food. So we call them photosynthetic Protista. Okay. Then we made a second class. The second group, that is consumer decomposer. Consumer. So those which can consume food, which can take food, which can phagocytosis, take food through phagocytosis, like amoeba, or consumer and decomposer, or they are decomposer. They are found in dead and decaying material. So in consumer decomposer, right? I will tell you what we put over here. So the third class is that is protozoan Protista. Protozoa. So protozoan. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'll show you one more slide now. What are the example of these Protista? So first I said that the first kind of Protista are those which are capable of performing photosynthesis. So first class is that photosynthetic Protista. Photosynthetic Protista. I'm trying to write it down clearly, but still if you are unable to get it, you can ask me that spelling. So in photosynthetic Protista, so first we'll study dinoflagellate. First dinoflagellate. Then it comes chrysophytes. So there are 2 types of photosynthetic protistans. So first dinoflagellate and second chrysophytes. So in dinoflagellate, we study a special type of organism. And what are those organisms? I'll tell you what are the dinoflagellates. So Gymnodium is the example of dinoflagellate. So they are called, just a minute. I'll tell you what are dinoflagellates. And dinoflagellate, chrysophytes, and the next one there is one more, euglenoid. So there are 3 classes in photosynthetic protista: dinoflagellate, chrysophytes, and euglenoid. Next, then it comes to the second one, that is consumer and decomposer. So consumer means they take food through phagocytosis, consumer, and decomposer. In consumer and decomposer, there is only one kind of the organism are found, and these organisms are called slime molds. And last category, that is protozoan protist. In protozoan protist, mainly we call them protozoa. So in protozoa and protist, there are three kinds of the protozoa. So first amoeboid protozoa, and the second one is the first one is flagellated protozoa. Flagellated protozoa. The second one are amoeboid protozoa, which look like amoeba. Amoeboid protozoa. Third one is that sporozoans. Sporozoans. Last but not the least, ciliated protozoa. So look, let me revise for you. First, we divided protista in three categories: photosynthetic, consumer, discomposer, and protozoan protista. Again, we further divided these photosynthetic protista in dinoflagellate, chrysophytes, and euglenoid. Consumer decomposer protista, they have only one kind of animal, that is slime mold. Protozoan protista, they have again four kind of organism: flagellated protozoa, amoeboid protozoa, sporozoans protozoa, and ciliated protozoa. Please note it down. Then we will start from photosynthetic protista. And before starting from photosynthetic protista, I will start with the general characteristic of protista. Seems complex or difficult? Complex? A bit?
Fine.
Fine. Okay, great.
Yes.
So it's not complex. When I'll sum up this topic, you will say, no, it was not complex. It was easy. I will make easy for you. Note it down. Just note it down. Samaira, clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So Jordan, note it down. Smita, note it down. Should we start? Yes,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Okay, fine. Let me start it from first general characteristic of wood, Monera. So first note it down, the general characteristic of Monera. Right. Generally, they are called connecting link between Monera and rest of three kingdom. Full stop. Next point. There may be these all are general characteristics. There may be an outer body covering called pellicle. This is a body covering which is found only in this kingdom, right? Keep it in mind. Generally, they have an outer body covering called pellicle. Full stop. Pellicle is a stretchable cover made up of protein. Next point. Photosynthetic form contain chloroplast. So chloroplast was not present in Monera. So what was the structure which were present in place of chloroplast? Please tell me. We have discussed one hour before. We have discussed in today's class only. What we call those structure which are found in prokaryote, they work in place of chloroplast. Anybody?
Sir, another name of chlorophyll, yeah?
Yeah, chlorophyll. Yeah, they contain chlorophyll. Very good. What is the name
Yes,
of
sir.
that?
Now you talk, but I don't remember exactly.
Yes. What is the name of that
Chromatophore.
structure? Very good. Great. Very good. Chromatophores. Excellent. So these are the questions which you will get in NEET examination. So when you will give a NEET examination, they will ask you a structure like which of the following structure resembles with the chloroplast and found in prokaryotic cell, and the answer will be chromatophore. Because like on that time I have told you that chromatophore have already been asked in medical examination. Okay, fine.
Yes,
Great.
exactly.
So next point. A photosynthetic form contain chloroplast for photosynthesis. Next point. Cilia and flagella are the structure. Cilia and flagella are the structure which are found. Cilia and flagella are the structure which are found for locomotion. Next point. They have a TS size ribosome. So their ribosome is larger than ribosome of Monera because these are eukaryotic organisms, right? Next point. Nutrition may be autotrophic, means they make their food. Maybe holozoic. What is holozoic?
We consume food and break it down within the body.
Great, very good. Those organisms which take food in form of particle, like humans, we are here holozoic. What we do? We break a piece of bread and then we take it. So we take like either holozoic are those organisms which either takes food in the form of bites or engulf it. Like we are holozoic, snakes are holozoic, lizards are holozoic, buffalo are holozoic. So they take food in form of bits and pieces or engulf them. Okay. Next, it may be saprobic or saprophytic. It may be saprophytic, means dead and decaying, or it may be parasitic. Clear? All kind of nutrition. Autotrophic, holozoic, saprobic, or parasitic. Okay. So these all kind of nutrition are found out there. Next, one last point of general characteristic. Reproduction takes place by asexual or sexual method. Reproduction takes place by asexual or sexual method. Great, fine, clear. So in asexual method, what is asexual method? In asexual method, there is a type, we call it right. In asexual method, gametes are not involved, right? And in sexual method, formation of gamete takes place. Right, very good. So mice, very good. So in asexual method, gamete are not involved. Only single parent involved in this process. So there is a method which is called binary fission. So fission word means breakdown of anything, fission. So in binary fission, what happens? One cell, it breaks down into two smaller cells. That is what called binary fission. So first type of asexual reproduction is binary fission. Second, that is multiple fission. Multiple. So what happened in multiple fission? In multiple fission, this is a single cell. What happens? This single cell, it encloses itself in a hard covering. After some time, inside this hard covering, this single cell breaks down into many smaller cells. This hard covering, onset of favorable condition, what happens? This hard covering breakdown and many number of cells come out of these cells. And this process is called multiple fission. So this is binary fission, this is multiple fission. Clear? So when binary fission, now the question is that when binary fission will take place? Binary fission will take place only in favorable condition. Favorable condition. What is favorable condition? Temperature is optimum, food is abundant, and multiple fission takes place in unfavorable condition. Unfavorable condition. So in favorable condition, binary fission, and unfavorable condition, multiple fission. Clear? Okay. Now what happens? How does sexual reproduction takes place? They are unicellular, then how the gamete formation takes place? No. Gamete formation is not taking place. In sexual reproduction, what happens? Two cells or two organisms, they come in contact with each other, plus minus, they both fuse. When they both fuse, they make a single structure. So this is called, this process of fusion of two cells is called syngamy. Syngamy. So these two cells fuses, syngamy takes place, and formation of zygospore takes place. Zygospore. Again, this zygospore start dividing. This zygospore divide into many cells, and formation of offspring takes place. This is the method of sexual reproduction in these Monera, Protista. Is it clear? So note it down. First, note this diagram, then I'll explain for you. But onset of second part essentially are produced. But isn't the I'm not getting your question actually. Make me more clear. Second part, isn't the second part essentially this one, zygospore here at this point? Yes, one cell divide to many, right? This is you can say it, you can compare it with asexual, but we call it mitosis. Let's study mitosis. It's a mitosis actually. We cannot use a sexual term for it. This is mitosis. So first meiosis takes place and then mitosis takes place. So reduction division, we call it reduction division, meiosis, right? Then mitosis takes place. So we'll study cell division. If you are aware with meiosis and mitosis, then you will understand it. So we call it zygotic meiosis. Here zygotic meiosis takes place, but I am not going that much deep on here. Otherwise you will get confused, right? I'll tell you. So here actually in this place here mitosis takes place and here zygotic meiosis takes place. So that is the difference between these asexual and sexual reproduction. Mice, did you got me or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So fine. Jot it down. In sexual reproduction, in sexual reproduction, in sexual reproduction, two cells fuses with each other. Two cells fuses with each other, and we call it syngamy. Two cells fuses with each other, and we call it syngamy. Full stop. By syngamy, formation of syngamy, formation of a zygospore takes place. Full stop. Zygospore divide, zygospore divide, zygospore divide and form, zygospore divide and form many small protists. Many small protists. Full stop. Now put the heading photosynthetic protist. Photosynthetic protist. No doubt. In this group, we have put all those protists. In this group, we have put all those protists which perform photosynthesis, and makes their own food. Full stop. Phytoplankton constitute the major part of this group. They include following organism. Now put a subheading, and the subheading is that a dinoflagellate. So what are dinoflagellate? Let me explain you. Dinoflagellate. And the example of dinoflagellate is like Gymnodium, and Goniolax. Goniolax. Gymnodium and Goniolax. Let me tell you. These Goniolax, they emit light. So they are found in water. So wherever they are found, they emit light, and water looks like illuminating. So we call this phenomena bioluminescence. What are the phytoplankton? Phytoplankton are small organisms, and they are the major source of the food for some of the small fishes and some crustaceans. Clear? So now let me explain you, or let me make you more clear, and let me show you the diagram of dinoflagellate.
Okay, sir.
So So let me show you the diagram of dinoflagellate. Dinoflagellate. Yes, it's there. Look, this is diagram of dinoflagellate. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll show you more clear diagram if I have. Look, this is the structure of Gunalax. Sorry, Gonalax, Gunalax, right? So Gunalax is a type of dinoflagellate. This is the outer covering, and inside the outer covering, they have some starch granule. It's a reserve food, right? And they have some oil inclusion, means oil droplet. It is also a food. This is nucleus, right? So this is nucleus of Gunalax. This one, it's a nucleus. Okay, they have two things. So the most important thing, they have two flagella. This is transverse flagella, and this is like vertical flagella. So they have two flagella. They also have chromatophores, and we have already studied that chromatophore, they are the primitive form of what? Chloroplast. So they do not have chloroplast-like structure. They have chromatophores, which is responsible for photosynthesis. This is the flagella. This succule means that is something girdle-like structure. So this is vertical flagella. Vertical flagella. Here, this is structure. This is transverse flagella. So transverse flagella. So when any organism have two flagella and both are the different flagella, so these kind of flagella are called heterocone flagella. Heterocone flagella. So heterocone flagella, when any organism or any prokaryote or any eukaryote have two flagella and both are different, either in shape or in position. So we call those flagella heterocone. And if any organism have same kind of the flagella, two flagella and same kind of the flagella, they are called isocone flagella. Is it clear? Isocone or heterocone? Clear
Yes,
to you?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Write it down. Write it down somewhere else. Right inside. Make a note. Heterocone. If any organism have two flagella, if any organism have two flagella and both are, if any organism have two flagella and both are different either in shape or in position, either in shape or in position, are called heterocone flagella, are called heterocone flagella. Full stop. If the organism have two flagella, if the organism have two flagella and both are similar in size, both are similar in size and position, then they are called isocone flagella. This is Goniolex, this is Gymnodium. Okay, so look, they have this transverse flagella and they have this longitudinal flagella. So both are the different in position. We call them heterocone flagella. One more thing, their outer body have shield-like a structure. This is shield-like structure, and this shield-like structure is called theca or lorica. Theca or lorica. So this covering is called theca or lorica. Now this is the question of medical, that what is the substance which make theca or lorica? Theca or lorica are made up of cellulose plate. They are cellulose plate. What is cellulose? Tell me, my friend. What kind of chemical is cellulose? Nice. Cellulose. Smita, what kind of structure is cellulose? Where is Sakula? Oh, it's not there.
There I'm here.
Yeah, it's there. Sakula, tell me. Marine. Samira. Oh. We were discussing in last hour. I told you. Oh, it's made up of carbohydrate, my friend. It's a type of cellulose, is a type of complex carbohydrate. Means complex sugar. We'll study in biomolecule. We'll study in any club. Right, very good. It's a type of polysaccharide, means carbohydrate. Means sugar. Right, it's a type of sugar or carbohydrate. Okay. So, and you know, this girdle-like structure. This girdle-like structure is called sucule. This girdle-like structure is called sucule. Okay. So this is theca and lorica. They have heterocone flagella. Okay. So because they have this kind of structure, so they are also known as plated or armored unicellular structures. Fine. So note it down. Most of the dinoflagellate are marine. Most of the dinoflagellate are marine. Full stop. Some of them are freshwater. Some of them are freshwater organism. Next point. Gymnodium. This is the question which have been frequently asked in your medical examination. So the question was, which of the following organism causes red tide? Red tide. So look, Gymnodium and Goniolax, when they multiply and they flourish abundantly in the water color looks like red, and when tide comes, it looks like red tides. That's why these two, Gymnodium and Goniolax, these are responsible for red tide phenomena, and they are a type of dinoflagellate. Note it down. Gymnodium and Goniolax. Gymnodium and Goniolax, they grow in large number. They grow in large number, comma, makes water red, and causes red tide phenomena. Next point. Goniolax, this one, Goniolax. I have explained this point. Goniolax emit light. This is also a question. It is also a medical question. Frequent. I have been asked already. I have been asked 2 times, 3 times. Goniolax emit light and it show the Goniolax, this one, Goniolax emit light and it shows the phenomena of bioluminescence. And it shows the phenomena of bioluminescence. Next. Cells are generally covered by theca or lorica. Cells are generally covered by theca or lorica, which is made up of cellulose. That's why they are called armored. That's why they are called armored dinoflagellate. Note it down. That's why they are called armored dinoflagellate. Next one. Nucleus is larger in size and they have chromatophore for photosynthesis. They have chromatophore for photosynthesis. Next point. Oil and starch is reserve food. Oil and starch are reserve food. Next point. They are major source of food for fishes and other organisms. And they have different flagella, heterocone flagella, that you know, right? So this is all for today, right? and we have started this one, Protista, and in Protista, in next class we'll study with the photosynthetic protistans, right? Then we'll go ahead and definitely, most probably, we'll finish in this chapter in next class as well. So whatever we have discussed today, so is it clear to you? In fact, is it crystal clear to all of you, or do you have any confusion, any question, any doubt? Okay, great, no doubt. Fine.
No, sir.
Samaira, Mehreen,
Yes, sir.
clear all clear?
Yes, sir.
Hima, all clear? So are you able to jotting down? And is it each and everything, whatever I am writing on the board, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do one thing.
Was clear for me.
Those which missed last class, what they have to do, this is like homework practice for them. So they have to take link of that video or backup of that video, and you have to go through with that class. And in case if you have any doubt, ask me tomorrow. And whatever we have studied or whatever I have taught you today, you have to go through it, and you have to jot down the doubt and questions you have in your mind, or if anything not clear, I'll clear all those doubts and questions or concept tomorrow. Fine.
Sir, the link which you gave teachers previous class, you mean that?
Yeah, whatever I have taught you, was there in previous class?
Yes, I was there, but
Okay.
if you don't mind, can you send it again, sir, to me also?
Yeah, fine. You can, like, no, ask to Niskarji. He have like backup of, he must have coordinate with him. He must have backup for that class, and go through with it. And in case if you have doubt, ask me tomorrow, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Fine. So see you tomorrow, all of you. Bye. Good night. Take care. And
See you, sir.
tomorrow.
Have a nice day.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, beta. Welcome. Bye bye. Take care.